Good afternoon, Shaykh. I'm Surya, and I have this question because there are many adults here. So it's just a situation I want you to help me explain how to cope with it. In this era, there are many problems such as adults will take care of their children, show love and affection more when they are below 4 years. Am I right? Okay. After that, they will go to more in earning, and then the children will get less love and affection. It will automatically affect their behavior, and it's because they feel a lack of love. So how do adults help to cope with it?
Very good question. The change happens to both aspects, not just to the parents, and not to all, obviously. We don't want to also generalize, but to the children as well. Children, when they're less than 10, their mother and their father is their superhero. They know, my mother knows everything. She is my one and only. He is my one and only. Once the children are teenagers, they think, oh man, the old folks don't know anything. They don't. They're so ancient, they're a fossil. They're outdated. They don't. I know. I am the one who's in there. They're talking, Stone Ages. Fred Flintstone. The change is on all dimensions. But in reality, love is absolutely the answer. There is no other answer than love. Now, remember what I said is not necessarily. Parents are sometimes overprotective of their children. And that comes from their love. Sometimes parents need to realize that learning is not always theory. Learning is also practical, unfortunately. And that means we're going to make mistakes. And maybe they're allowed to make mistakes so long the mistakes are not grave. So that's one aspect. But the other aspect is, this is also cultural, which means what? A lot of cultures have implicit love, not explicit display of love. And this was done nowadays you'll see it. I mean, people don't like, I'm talking about where I come from. From the United States of America. I sit sometimes, I have some sessions with some senior citizens, people who are of older age, and when something happens, when we see something, they resent or they don't like a public display of affection. Why are you doing this in public? The public display of affection is not, and I'm talking from a Western perspective either. Also, now things are changing with the new generation, but still. So we need to mind the cultural thing, but I'll take you back to the Prophet ﷺ himself. And the hadith is Hassan. He comes out, and his grandchildren, Al-Hassan and Hussein, are one on his shoulders. And he's hugging them and kissing them. A companion, that's 1400 some years ago, in the Arabian desert. A companion comes and says, Ya Rasulullah, you're kissing them and hugging them, you love them? You're loving them, like you're showing your public display of affection? He says, yes. He says, Ya Rasulullah, I have 10 children, I've never kissed any of them. He had 10 children, he never kissed any of them. Because it was 1500 years ago in the desert, maybe in that culture. I'm sure in other cultures as well. It was strength entailed. The father had to be the strong figure, and showing public affection means weakness. Even if you love them, you cannot show that because that's strength. Well, the Prophet ﷺ taught us 1500 years ago that that's wrong. Simple as that. It's just wrong. 1500 years ago, not now. It's wrong. It is okay to show public affection within the decency limits. So I think that's a lesson for parents and children both to learn and to exercise. That's why I said the prophetic sunnah is a sunnah of love. If we take out love from it, we reduce it to rituals. We need to make sure that we take the trip from ritual back to spiritual.